Matters show with Jody
and Alex Misiak.
And today we are doing, you ask, we answer. So one of the biggest questions I keep seeing and hearing from so many people is how do they find time for themselves? Everybody knows that self-care is important, or most people.
Yeah.
But how do you fit it in? Like being parents, you have swimming. For us, it's swimming lessons, but you can have other after-school activities. There's school, there's cooking and cleaning and work. Somebody has to pay the bills. There's all these things. So how do you fit in the one thing
it's super important. It would help everything else in your life.
Yes, exactly. So how do we fit it in? So we're going to answer this question today. So you ready?
I'm ready.
So let's talk about making time for me. So first off, like anything in your life, if you want to make it happen, you got to schedule it in. So say if you had a doctor's appointment or you got a haircut or any appointments, work even, you have it scheduled in. You usually know you have to go to work from here to here. Mm-hmm. Now I know it's a little bit more driven because that's what pays the bills. But, it's there. It's in your calendar. I even find when I was trying to fit working out in, you have to schedule it in. You got to pick a time and you got to be consistent. Mm-hmm. So that's a big one, is scheduling it in.
Yeah. And part of making that schedule is talking with everyone
in your family unit.
In your family or would be affected by you scheduling this in.
Yeah.
And, keep talking about it until you find something that works for everyone.
Like I said, actually the perfect time I found for me to reschedule my routines and really laser focus in on a good morning routine and thing was right after back to school. So we're not that far off, but the kids are back in school now. So you have for me, I was like, okay, this is what my morning looks like. I started doing slowly change the way I wanted my morning to be. And then I talked to you. I was like, okay, I even came up with a bigger plan of how to fit working out in and my yoga and everything else. And I'm like, okay, this is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And then, we had a conversation about that. So scheduling it in and it's even having an idea of what you want to do with your time too. But we'll get into that later. The biggest one is have time. And even if you don't know what you want to do at that time, it's just read a book or just sit quietly. But we've talked many a times about self-care.
Something that is specifically just for you.
Yes, we've definitely talked about self-care. And that can even be going out with the girlfriends or the guys and stuff like that too, though. Because that is self-care too if you need being a parent, I noticed one of the biggest things for me that changed was I'm not out with the friends as much, nearly as much. I'm working on getting back to that.
But you want to schedule something that is a daily routine.
Yes.
For that. Not that.
Daily would be ideal.
Yeah. So you're not going to daily be able to hang out with your friends for 2 to 3 hours.
But it could be one of the days.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And actually sometimes hanging out with somebody else helps you stay accountable.
That's true too. Yeah.
So scheduling it in, but let's take a step back, a couple steps. And biggest thing to help you find time for you is realizing that you're worthy enough of the time. Is understanding that this time, it's just getting really, understanding your why self-care is important. So it's really knowing I matter enough to have this time. And then knowing that when you give yourself that time to just be, your cup is so much more full, so you have more to give to people. Mm. So when you're in a constant state of I got this, I got the dishes, I got this and that, and you just go, at the end of the day, you're really burnt out. And then you have zero left for you. But for me, I started a new routine where it was focused on me right after the kids went to school. And then I actually have more to give to the kids after school and into the evening.
Almost when they need you the most, I would say. Yeah.
So taking time for you may seem like it's selfish. A lot of people feel like it's selfish. So if that's your underlining why you can't find time for you, it's getting that out of the way first. Mm-hmm. So sometimes we have blocks where we don't feel like we're worthy enough or, I can't take time for me. I
have all these other things I got to do.
I have all these other things so it's making sure that you don't have those beliefs stopping you, before you try, because if you have those there, anything you do, any scheduling you have to, you'll be doing, you'll always find something else to do instead of doing something for yourself.
Yeah.
So there's a really cool line in the song I heard today. I've been listening to it for a while now, but I didn't realize the line until today. And is, you can't spell awesome without me. And I thought that's beautiful. So if you're ever having a hard time, taking that half hour to yourself, 15 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever you're allotting for yourself, an hour, just be like, you can't spell awesome without me. So there you go. Write that down. It is awesome.
Yeah, put it everywhere.
Yeah, you are awesome. And you deserve to have some time just for yourself.
And if there are people in your circle or immediate or otherwise who don't think that's true, that is going to make it harder to do.
That's a whole different conversation, though.
It is a whole different conversation.
What people think about you is none of your business.
That's true too. What people think about you is none of your business. So don't worry about that. Make you whatever other people say or think about you taking time for you. It is about you, and it is to replenish you and make you the best you can be. So
you don't have to justify taking time for you.
You shouldn't have to justify taking time for you. Absolutely. But if some of our listeners out there are in situations where, they don't think that they can because of what other people think or even say straight to them about this, it's like, you got to push through that, past it, set it aside, right? Because, like, if I were to say to you, I'm not going to do that ever, it's like, I'm sorry, you can't do that today because of X, Y, Z, right? Like,
I would come up with a new solution that would make time for it.
You would make.
I'd be like, if it couldn't be right now because you needed my help with something, I'm like, okay, but this is happening.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's mandatory for me now. It's not like, oh, if I have time, I'll do something for me. It is a mandatory thing, because when I don't do the things that fill up my cup, that's when I get sick. That's when I get exhausted. That's when I start yelling at the kids or you. Yeah. So I know that, and that is in place. But if you have something that comes up, like life does happen, we talked about it last episode, things do come up. You do need to be flexible with your schedule. However, you matter, you got to do you. And that could be even a 5-10 minute thing. It doesn't have to take long. Just take some time for you, though. But we already talked about that. Today is all about talking about how, finding the time.
All right.
So it's not about what people think, because in my opinion, those people don't matter.
In this regard, yep, absolutely.
In this regard, it's taking time for you. That's all that matters.
So we did the scheduling part, and we did the communication to other people part. Mm-hmm. And now
okay. So another thing that is really great is or another like fun little tip is get creative. Get creative in finding ways to fit it in. So like for you and I, now this is a slight detour of what it is, but one of my biggest things that I do need for my personal like cup to be full is one-on-one time with you. And with having kids, we're constantly busy. So occasionally you and I will take a coffee break together, either in the house or we'll go out and we'll do a little walk with a local coffee shop while our kids are at school and daycare. Mm-hmm. Because we haven't found like a local babysitter yet. And our grandparents are a little further away. So we don't have the option of just like going out all the time in the evenings. So it's finding those moments.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
And it isn't those kinds of things that happen every day either, but we do try to make that happen.
Yeah. We're not talking about you're not going to do the same thing every day, most likely.
Okay.
Yeah. It's switching. Your soul needs a lot more than just 10 minutes of like one thing every day. Usually it needs, it needs social. It needs For me, definitely it needs isolation. I need alone time for sure. I need to be in my own world, my own thoughts. So every day can be different. It doesn't have to be the same thing, and it doesn't have to be the same time or amount every day. It's about uniquely molding it to work for you, your life, your situations, but it's getting creative with that. So for me, now that I go pick up our daughter after school, I have like a 10-15 minute walk. Now, mind you, sometimes life throws me unexpected opportunities, and I walk with a
gaggle.
Yeah, a gaggle of teenagers from our driveway all the way to her school. So I can't do mindful walks all the time. But those are 10 to 15 minutes where I can just be. And I actually love these moments because it actually changes gears from me working to picking up our daughter. So then in that time frame, I'm doing like sometimes walking meditation. Sometimes I'm actually just literally taking all the information that's in my head and just letting it out. So then when I'm with our daughter, when I pick her up, I'm not like in my head thinking about all these plans I want to do with business or what am I doing next. It's just everything is just released and it's out, and I'm clear to be fully present with our daughter.
Yeah, you're in receiving mode.
Exactly. So it's really fun to find little creative ways to do that. So going for a walk, like getting your kids from school, or even just walk around the block. If you have a partner, you guys can even, it's about tag teaming things. I take my time here, and then it's like you could take your time here. It's having conversations with people, and you'll be amazed of how much, just how much you can find time for you when you get creative.
Your commute to work.
Yes, you can listen to audiobooks.
Whatever that kind of, hopefully your commute to work.
Or podcasts.
Yeah. If you're driving, then, there's things you can do like listening to things. If someone else is driving, or you happen to, have a really great public transportation system that can get you from your door to your workplace, that gives you a lot of other opportunities. When I lived in Toronto, I did a lot of like reading.
I just love how, yes. So you can read a book. And I even find, and I think I've mentioned this before, but this was a big, ginormous turning point for me right here. So I was noticing that I was picking up my phone every time I was bored. And like this was when even like Anastasia was born, like little, and I'd pick it up and I'm just cruising Facebook. Like I was cruising it so much that like I was like, oh, I saw all this. Like it was insane. And then so I was like, oh, like I would just pick it up for no reason at all. Like there's a time and place for social media, and now I actually have an alarm and I check it out at a certain point. But our phones are right there and we just gravitate towards it so often. So what I did is I put my phone down and I picked up a book. It's amazing how many books you can read if you just pick up like 5-10 minutes a day. Or like if you're picking up your phone, a handful, like I'm eating books now just because I'm leaving my phone down and I'm allowing a book to read. And sometimes if I need a minute, I'm not going to lie, I go into the bathroom and take a minute and I just read. Like I love books that are actually broken down. They're not like small chapters usually, but they have like little breaking points. So it's like 2 pages. So I sit in there and I'll just read for 2 pages. You can it's amazing what you can accomplish for yourself if you just, find those little moments. And actually one more on the book front is when I pick up our daughter from school, I actually carry a book with me. So while I'm waiting, I actually sit on the grass in the shade, usually because it's really hot lately. And I just read until she's out. And then this way, like, it's just those moments. Now, if you're very social with the mamas around or the parents around, then obviously, I do where I'm social and I read, but it just has those moments. And I've now don't leave the house usually without a book, because you never know, like if somebody's late when you meet them for coffee or whatever, I'm never upset anymore because I have a book. So it's just whatever you love to do, hopefully you have those lists because we've talked about those. Write down the things that light you up and smile. Look at that list. Pick like 5 things, maybe even 7 if you have that many, and just figure out how they can fit into your week. Like, because some of them can be small, some of them can be big. So like one of my biggest thing was I was just trying to get meditation back into my world. And I'm just like, okay, well, let's start with 10 minutes a day. That's doable. And like 5 minutes is good too. So like it's just doing something is better than nothing. So if you're not taking any time for you at all during your day, start with 5 minutes. Work your way up. I know for business, I was looking at all my goals for the end of the year and I was getting overwhelmed. I'm like, I have all this extra time, but then I was starting to put more things into my day. It's like you have more time, so now you try to do more.
Yeah.
And I was getting overwhelmed. I'm like, wait a second, I don't have to get all the way to point B, or like maybe I was looking actually at point like Z, F, let's go. All the way, like you can just take baby steps to get there. You don't have to get all the way to your ideal, amount of self-care time or your ideal day. All are like
all in one shot.
Yeah,
you can build to it.
Yeah, all are in maybe habits that we don't really like maybe Netflix binging all day. Those things can take over time can build up to that habit. So of course it's going to take a little time to build. So it's like, don't set your expectations too high. Do what feels right for you now. So if you feel overwhelmed, take a deep breath and start with 5 minutes. And then after a week, maybe add another 5 minutes. And like I said, it doesn't have to all be at the same time.
Well, I think something that you could do at the same time is, as you are building good self-care habits, you can start to break down those habits that are taking time away from your day.
Yes.
Like you're like, okay, instead of every time I'm bored, I'm going to pick up the phone and check social media, right? Mm-hmm. And I think this is just a function of what we have now available to us. Because it's not like reading the paper. Like social media can go on for a while. You can just get lost in it for quite some time, right? So
an hour later, oh my goodness, what did I do with that hour?
You may still want to check social media, but if you schedule it in, you're like, okay, I'm only going to spend this much time on it, and then I'm going to stop.
Actually, a really cool thing is Facebook has it where you can set up and they can you can ask them to let you know when you've been on. So my phone is set. It will let me know if I've been on it for more than an hour a day.
There you go. So
it doesn't reach it very often anymore, which is really cool. But when I am, I'm like, oh, it's usually on days I'm working from my phone. And
then what else do we have nowadays that eats into our time? Like Netflix and chill. That works really well for Netflix, because they want you to consume their stuff.
And all their original content is designed to just one more episode.
Yeah, exactly.
Just one more episode. And then you're like, oh, I just ate a whole season. Season.
Netflix, YouTube, all of those media outlets.
Set a timer.
Yeah, set a timer and be done with it. Do not. It's so easy to like just watch one more. I find YouTube for me does that because it just grabs the next video and starts playing it. And yeah, it's so easy to get lost in it and then check the clock later and be like, oh no, like where did that time go? Well, that's where it went. So cutting cold turkey doesn't work either.
It's also just being mindful of your time. Like, so a lot of these things come so naturally now to us, like checking Facebook, checking emails, checking any other social media outlets. Because now we don't just have like one or two, we have like crazy amounts of them.
It feels like
so. So like Instagram, Pinterest, like, you have just so many. So you can get really lost. It's called going down the rabbit hole for a reason. Because you go down and you come back up going like, where am I? Mm-hmm. And what day is it? What time is it? So as parents, we do have a lot on our plate. And it's just being mindful of those areas that we can kind of trim down a little. I'm not saying throw away the TV like they told me in college. Like, throw your TV away for the next 9 months because you don't have a life. Anyways, I'm not saying get rid of the TV. I'm saying be mindful of where you're spending your time. And I still love TV. We allow ourselves an hour at night to just unwind, and that is working well for us. And this is coming from people that, like, we were spending, I don't know how many hours a day on TV way back before kids, but we had to change things up.
Too many.
We had to change things up a little bit. PVR, best thing in the world. So it's about figuring out what works for you, because there's no it's not a cookie cutter kind of deal. Like everybody's life is different. It's just being mindful of where you're putting your time, because everybody has the same 24 hours in a day.
Yeah.
Everybody, you know, I think sometimes when I'm like, I'm doing this business thing and a mom thing and trying to have a life, and I'm like, okay, well, there's other people out there too doing it. Mm-hmm. So I just have to look and be, you know, I actually look for the ones that are sleeping too, because the ones that are cutting out sleep, not a big fan, because sleep is super important too. So try not to cut back on your sleep. You know, those solid hours are important if your kids are obviously not waking up in the middle, because you can't control that. But yeah.
So I think the takeaway there is, if you want to build up good habits, at the same time you want to start breaking down the habits that you form. That
not breaking down, just saying goodbye to them.
Right. Yeah, but like not cold turkey, but sort of.
Or do you mean like just breaking up chunks or something?
Yeah, like just you. If you're the kind of person, and I was this kind of person, that would play like an online multiplayer game for like, it started out an hour a day, and then by the time, this is way before Jody and everything else, but by the time that I realized I was in trouble, I was up to 8 hours a day playing this game. And that I did have to, I had to cut cold turkey because it was getting dangerous. But for things like, if you watch, 3 to 4 hours of TV a day, you can start to scale that back.
Yeah.
And then you don't miss it.
I actually want to get onto that for just a quick second about TV. So TV, you might be like, oh, that is for me. That fills up my cup. And it might, but you don't need like 8 hours of it, or 5 or 4, whatever amount. It's because, like I said, we need usually more than one thing to fill us up. Like I said, social, spending time with you. Then I'm like, there's times where I'm like, oh, I haven't seen friends in forever. So like I book that in. And for me, it's like the spa, but it's looking at your list of things that make you smile. If TV's not on that list, I bet most people listening are going to write it down now. TV. That means that it really doesn't make you smile. It might just, for me, I use TV kind of like a numbing. It takes the thoughts, like I don't need to think anymore. I have a very, very active, creative mind. And if I go to bed like that, I won't sleep.
Right.
So I need something to kind of trigger that off. And I know meditation, there's many ways, but what I love right now is that hour before bed with TV. And then I actually do meditate before bed, but like our time before, like together, is that hour of TV. So that's personally what I do. However, but I have other things throughout the day that fills me, like I fill up on.
I think one of the key here, and we've talked about filling up cups before as well, but if TV is one of the things that, like, no, this is important, I like TV and I want it, it does fill up my cup, then you need to be present while you're watching that show or whatever, yes. Right? So you're not doing something else.
So I used to watch TV shows that I would actually find myself on my phone. I'd be either Googling something, searching Facebook. At that point, if you're doing multiple things like that, you're not really invested in that TV show. So I actually stopped watching those kinds of TV shows. If I'm finding like I'm getting so bored or off put, like I'm doing something else on top of it.
Yeah.
And another big thing is stop multitasking.
Yes.
That was a huge one for me. I was always the
multitasker.
Yeah. And I know you still do that, Alex. I'm like, stop. Focus on one thing and move on to the other. I promise you'll have more time, because you feel more overwhelmed when you're trying to juggle. Okay, juggle like one ball. Okay, you got this, right? Throw in another one. Okay, you can do it. You got 2. Throw in 3, then 4, then 5, and 6. The more things you're throwing in and you're trying to juggle at one time, the harder it is to keep them all in the air. Mm. So just focus on one thing, like just do the dishes. Now, this is where you can get a little bit more fun. You can either throw in some fun music. That's how I like to jam with my Amazon Music actually has like a playlist. Call it cleaning the dishes.
Nice.
Or cleaning the house, and then one's doing the dishes. Anyways, they have playlists for this, people. But seriously, you can put music on or listen to an audiobook if that's your thing. That would be as far as multitasking as I would go. Then move on to like doing something else. But don't try to
physically do one thing and focus only on that. If that thing isn't mentally taxing, then you can maybe add one thing to that.
Yeah.
But that's where it stops.
But here's the other, so
don't switch I'm guilty of that too. Don't switch things.
Yeah,
while you're waiting for one thing,
yeah.
go do something else, because then you'll forget about the other thing that you left behind.
Yes, multiple times.
Yes,
Alex, this is over here.
I'm working on it.
So the other one thing is adding audiobooks or podcasts. Like, you can really do that. Like, I would sit with our son cuddling in the morning. He likes his mommy cuddles the days he is home. So instead of just sitting there, like, I am present, but I usually have like an audiobook in. So I'm like listening, because he's usually watching his cartoons. So it's just being very mindful and just, like I said, creative. So
making the time for me or you, our listeners, start slow, have those conversations, and schedule it in, and start to build up a self-love practice, things that light you up. Get creative. And
don't forget the number one thing. Understanding that you matter. And, even like write down a big why. Do you want to have more energy at the end of the day to be with your kids and really be focused with them? If they're at school all day and you just have like a few hours with them, do you want to be on? Do you want to be like present and like really like full and ready for them? Like, find your whys. Why do you want... Like, if you can't do it just for you, you're not ready for that yet. Just find a reason why taking time for you matters so much. When you need or you feel like you need to get something done, you make it happen. You want to have that need to do it. If you feel like it's wishy-washy reasons why you're doing something for yourself,
you won't do it.
Exactly.
It'll
so
be
you
the
put
first
it off.
thing you drop. Yep.
You will always find time for the things that you know are important. So make yourself important. Remember, can't spell awesome without me. Okay?
I love that.
Yeah, so do I. I can't remember what song it was, but it was a really cool line. Anyways, here's to making time for you. You matter, you deserve it, and you got this. You can do this. You can find 5-10 minutes in a day or more. But again, like Alex said, start small. We hope you have a beautiful, beautiful day.
Bye for now.